Hey guys, it's your girl Dehlia, PhilaDehliaEagles.com, checking in with a little free agency talk. I know a lot of moves were made. I'm a little late to the game, but you know, got a lot going on. But I did want to chime in with, first of all, I guess a new, to give you guys an idea of the new kind of perspective I'm looking at with the Eagles this upcoming season. Now, first of all, I want to say talk is cheap. Okay, whether you're a player, a GM, a coach, whoever you are, in the off season, this is the time where everybody tries to say the right thing and their intentions are, you know, we can do anything. But realistically, when it comes to the season, things don't always 100% play out like they should. And with that, I want to be honest with you guys with where I'm at. And I don't know if it's because of the whole pregnancy thing or because of how, you know, I feel like we just got burned by Chip, that whole Chip situation and how it was handled. But I'm looking at this off season with more of a, instead of my normal like optimistic, hopeful optimism, it's more of a skepticism now. And again, I don't know if this is like the new me or if it's just during this whole pregnancy, but I'm keeping it real. I have this different approach to how I'm looking at the Eagles, and it's like I don't want to fall in love with things that are happening, right? Because I feel like as Eagles fans, we've all been there. I mean, you've seen my videos, and we fall victim of just falling in love and having these high hopes and expectations. And, you know, in the off season, free agency, we always make a bunch of moves. It's been the trend these past, 3 or 4 seasons where we've just been, you know, one of the most talked about teams with all these moves and big names. And with that, it hasn't always, I guess it hasn't played out in our favor, even when in the off season things look so great. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to really get all, you know, hyped on these new free agents that we've just signed. So yeah, like I'm not gonna fall in love because I don't want to get my heart broken. Like I'm so overly sensitive right now that I just can't handle it. So I'm trying to be cautious. You know, I don't want to dive right in. So Tootsie is, if you hear her barking, she's got something distracting her. So you may hear her running around the backyard and in the house. So just FYI. But I did want to touch on what's going on. Now, I've been a little bit removed from my normal like daily readings and kind of being up to date with what's going on. But I have been kind of glancing at what's happening. And I find it very fascinating that people are very Tootsie. I find it fascinating that people are very on board with the Howie Roseman train right now. And even my good friend Chris Wessling from NFL.com, you know, I saw on Reddit someone posted his article grading the Eagles as the top team in free agency with their moves. And with that, and having a lot of people say a lot of good things about the moves the Eagles are making, I have some reservations because it's giving me flashbacks to that Dream Team season where, you know, everyone always has great things to say in the moment. It's like, wow, we got the best person available and he's going to be a rock star, Nnamdi Asomugha, and then, you know, and then it just is the complete opposite. So that's where I'm at. So I'm not going to dive too deep into these guys. I'm not going to get too attached. I'm not going to drink their Kool-Aid in a sense, but I'm going to sit back, you know? So I'm going to read some of the, I guess, read through the list of kind of what the Eagles have done so far and just give you maybe some tidbits on how I feel. And again, I'm going to preface this with, you know, Eagles, they're my team. I don't follow other players as as hardcore as I do the Eagles. So I'm not going to try and claim I know all these players and, oh, they're going to be great at this position and they can do this and that. I'm not going to try and front. But I do have opinions on some things. So let's get to it. So basically, as far as free agent signings, we got safety Rodney McLeod from the Rams, offensive guard Brandon Brooks from the Texans, QB Chase Daniels from the Chiefs, and then we got a lot of Bills players. So we got linebacker Nigel Bradham, cornerback Leotis McKelvin, and cornerback Aaron Brooks, and wide receiver Chris Gibbons. So with these signings, I haven't had a chance to talk to my homie Mark Vader. I do want to talk with him about the Bills acquisitions that we got. I like, the Bills had a strong defense. They were known to be more of a fierce defense than they were on offense. So I like the idea of getting some other players. I don't know them too well. That's why I call on my team experts of each team to give me the lowdown, because obviously fans of the individual teams know their players better than we would. So, but I don't know where that'll take us. But what I do like, we got a wide receiver in Chris Gibbons. Kind of that, I mentioned I did want to sign, a free agent from another team. And he can be more of that veteran guy that our younger wide receivers can look up to or kind of use as a mentor, that type of thing. I didn't have Chris Gibbons in mind. So, but with free agents, you never know how they're gonna end up making an impact on your team. Also, when talking veteran wide receivers, the Eagles had just signed, most recently, Ruben Randall, formerly from the Giants. So I like the idea of bringing in another veteran guy and letting those guys compete and give our boy Josh Huff a little run for his money. Brandon Brooks, doesn't hurt to have more O-line support, and some of the Eagles players like Kelsey were trying to, they seem to have a connection with this guy and are excited that he's on board. So it's always good to have a guy who has good dynamics with the players already. And then I think the biggest name that people are most excited about is Rodney McLeod. And this guy, from his highlights, he looks like a hard hitter. And, that Jim Schwartz defense, we're getting a glimpse of what he's trying to build and what we already know he has done with other teams. And I like the idea of that. I'm not gonna lie. So, but again, I'm holding back. So, so yeah, I'm just gonna let it play out now. The weirdest kind of signing was Chase Daniel, quarterback from the Chiefs. Now, I was very happy, as you saw, that Mark Sanchez is gone. I think not anybody, but there's a lot of better options out there than Mark Sanchez. And I think he's just done. He's mentally just garbage. And so he's gone. So I think Chase Daniel is a better option. But it's kind of weird. Seems like they paid him a lot of money. And me, I don't look at the dollars and cents as much. But I found it interesting because, one, they kind of gave this guy a lot of money as a second string guy. And not just a second string guy, he was a backup to Alex Smith, who is not considered one of the top tier, top quarterbacks that you would think of. So this guy was a backup to a not so good quarterback in the first place. So it's interesting that Doug Peterson valued this guy so high. And it tells me that it's giving me a flashback of Andy Reid, in the sense that Andy Reid is a player guy. He believes in the potential of players and that he can see what no other coach or person or player can see. And I think Doug Peterson sees a little bit of himself in this Chase Daniel character, where he's kind of the backup guy that hasn't really had a chance to really show what he's made of, but if given the chance, he could do well. But with Doug Peterson, if he kind of sees a little bit of himself in this guy, Peterson never did anything in the NFL. You know, like, he was always the backup guy, and he never really had a big impact with his teams. And then he just kind of fizzled out and ended up, you know, coaching high school, right? Until Andy Reid took a chance and saw his potential. So I'm getting one of those scenarios here with this Chase Daniel guy, where I think Peterson wants to give him a chance, you know. So it'll be interesting to see what they do and in the draft. So to me, with the trades that they made, so we had, I think I already touched on all of them. DeMarco. So we got DeMarco was sent to the Titans in exchange for their 4th round pick. And so in a sense, we moved up, you know, 13 spots or whatever it was. And then we got rid of Maxwell and Kiko to move up 5 spots in the draft. So we got rid of Maxwell and Alonzo to move up 5 spots in the draft. And, you know, Sanchez for that conditional 7th round pick. So to me, the whole getting rid of Maxwell and Alonzo to move up to the 8th round tells me they have a guy in mind. And there was kind of rumors of Eagles potentially drafting a quarterback at some point in this draft too. So I think it's going to be more of an open competition there. And I think Peterson wants to give these backup guys the chance that he never had, you know. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's that's not so good. So, yeah, I want to see where you guys are at. I'm just kind of, again, I can't get too excited, right? And I am very skeptical, and I'm going to admit to being very skeptical this off season. but yeah, so that's really it. I wanted to chime in with that, and also let you know that I am almost caught up with my Prego vlog. So, you know, I know all you know, male sports fans, age range between 18 to 35, you've been loving the whole Prego deal, right? No, I know. But I'm almost all caught up, which means I'll probably have less frequency of those types of videos. I have about 1 more that's pre-recorded, and then I'm going to do my recap of the whole 2nd trimester. And then by then it's going to be live, like as it goes up, it's going to be like the same day or close to the same day of when stuff actually happened. And then come end of May, June, that's when this little Eagles fan's supposed to pop out of my belly. So, oh gosh, that's kind of freaking me out, man. Yeah, so it's getting real, folks. It's getting real. But let me know your thoughts on these moves, and where are you at with Howie? I want to know, are you like all about him right now? Because me, I'm still, I don't trust the guy, you know? So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's your girl Dehlia, PhilaDehliaEagles.com, signing off. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!